Okay, hello everybody. This is Mr. C of Mr. C's Homeschool Music Academy, and it is time now for piano lessons for my academy members who signed up for piano lessons. It is your time right now, and right behind me we have a sort of a sample song, if you will. Okay, not really a song per se in its completion, but just kind of like a sample. Okay, of what we are going to be practicing today. Okay, so right behind me, we're going to go over what we're going to be playing. This is what we're going to be playing today. And in terms of rhythm, we're going to learn about certain notes, certain rhythms. Okay, the letter name of the note, and we're going to thus then copy what we're supposed to do on the piano. Okay, so make sure that you are at your pianos. Make sure you have your piano or your keyboard ready. Okay, because that's definitely what you're going to need. Okay. But let's take a look on exactly what we're going to be doing here. Okay, we're going to first learn what's sort of on paper, except not on paper, but on the board. And then I'm going to show you exactly how to play this. Okay, but again, you got to know exactly what you're looking at. What do we look forward to when we're looking at a particular piece of music and how to play it? Okay, so without further ado, okay. Oh, and I just want to remind you that, again, the chat box is open. So whenever you guys have any questions whatsoever, please, by all means, go onto the chat box. Or whatever questions you have while we're doing the lesson, please ask away. Okay, or you can wait till after if that suits you. But I'm always going to be checking the chat box to make sure that if you have any questions during that time, you can always ask away, and I will be more than happy to answer those questions for you. Okay, but let's get ready, everybody. So I'm going to stand up. I'm actually going to adjust my tripod stand here so that you guys can see me and everything I'm talking about. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a very good look on what we're playing today on the piano. I'm not satisfied with that. There we go. Okay, much better. All right, everybody. So here we go. This is the slight sample song that we're going to be doing. Okay. Now I want to tell you again what everything means. We sort of saw this last week when we were doing our scale, in which you should have practiced, by the way, both hands at the same time. Hopefully you did that. Okay. But we're going to focus in on primarily the middle C. Okay, middle C only. As you can see, we're playing lots of C's, okay? All right, and they all happen to be middle C, okay? But before we get to that, okay, I want to make sure everybody knows, first of all, we have the treble clef. Everybody say that, treble clef. Actually, I'm going to write that over here at the top. So, treble clef, meaning the higher range of notes from middle C and up. Okay, so we have our staffs here. This is, by the way, this is known as our grand staff. Okay, both treble and bass clef together creates what we call the grand staff, where we have the 5 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, within the 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5 lines and 4 spaces make up one staff. But when we have both staffs together, combined, this is known as the grand staff. Okay, and again, we are looking at the treble clef, which is from middle C and above, all the higher range of notes, which means those are all the notes that you're going to be playing, again, in your right hand, okay? However, on the bottom, as I mentioned just previously, just a little while ago, just moving something out of the way, this is called I'm going to write it here on the bottom, bass clef, okay? So the bass clef is any notes from middle C and below, okay? Any notes from middle C and below, and that is what we're going to be playing with our left hand, okay? All the left hand notes is in bass clef. So anytime we see any notes in this clef right here, in this staff, we're going to be using our left hand for that. And anytime we use we see any notes on the treble clef staff, we're going to be playing it with our right hand, okay? And basically, they're right on top of each other so that we know what's happening from how we read it is from left to right, looking kind of at both clefs at the same time and going this way, okay? That's a lot, that's a lot. Piano players, they have it difficult in this sense because what one hand might be doing, the other hand might be doing something else, okay? Pretty much at the same time. The way I have it here, the way I have this written, however, we're doing this one measure. Here the bar lines have been created to create a measure. So this is measure number 1 from treble to bass. This is measure number 1, measure number 2, measure number 3, and measure number 4. Okay, so we have 4 measures in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 measures in total. Okay, and we are reading both clefs, the grand staff from both clefs from left to right. Okay, I'm always I'm repeating and re-emphasizing a lot of stuff like that so that you guys know how you're supposed to be looking at this. And just so you know, again, the practice sheet will be available on the dashboard, and it's going to be written just like this. So I want to make sure that you guys know exactly what you're looking at, which by the way, with that PDF that's going to be there, you'll be able to click the link to really go right back to this video and see how everything goes. So everything that I'm going to be re-emphasizing, and stuff like that, you'll be able to use that visual reference from the practice sheet to the video and be able to play this. Okay, so again, grand staff is made up of treble clef staff and the bass clef staff. Okay, this is 4 measures long, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, with a double bar line. You got the bar lines creating the measures and the double bar line to say that we are at the end of the example in this case. Okay, and notice with each clef there is the meter. Okay, we got the meter. All right, so the meter has 4, 4, and 4, 4. Okay, now what does that mean? Now when we look at that, and these are primary things that we want to see whenever we approach a song, we want to be able to look at and know exactly what we're looking at, especially the meter, because this is going to tell us how we're going to play it. Okay, so first of all, actually I'm going to write our 4/4 meters somewhere else on the board. Okay, so I'm going to write it right here. Okay, now the 4/4 meter, whenever we see the number 4 on the top, okay, when we see the number 4 on the top, that is telling us that there are 4 beats in every measure. Okay, so I'm just going to write it here, beats per measure. I just totally messed that up. I do not like the way I wrote this, so I'm going to try this again, guys. All right. Okay, I'm going to come right over here. Okay, so again, the top number 4 is telling us that there are 4 beats per measure. Okay, so I already got through explaining that every bar line creates a measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 measures. Okay, in this example, by the way, just because we have a 4-beat meter, and a lot of students like to do, they like to do this. But they just think this automatically, instinctively. We think when we see a 4/4 meter that every 4/4 meter is gonna give us 4 measures in the song. That's not true. Okay, that's not true whatsoever. Just because there's a 4/4 meter doesn't mean it's always going to be. Doesn't mean that the song or example is going to be 4 measures long. Okay, some are 8 measures long. Some songs are 9 measures long. Some songs are 100 measures long. Okay, and the entire song could be all done in a 4/4 meter. Okay, so you can have lots of measures within a song. Okay, the 4/4 meter has nothing to do with the amount of measures. Again, it has nothing to do with the amount of measures within the song. Okay, so all it's telling us is that the top number 4 has 4 beats per measure. So in every measure, there has to be 4 beats within it. Okay, there's got to be 4. There can't be 5 beats. There can't be 6. Okay, there can't be 2. Okay, it has to have 4 beats within the measure. It sort of sets the rules for us. Okay, so the top number again tells us there are 4 beats per measure. The bottom number is not the easiest to remember. However, we got to say it a lot. We recite it kind of like when we see it. Okay, we tell ourselves, okay, there are 4 beats per measure as per the top number 4. The bottom number 4, however, is going to tell us that every quarter note quarter note gets 1 beat. Okay? So every quarter note will get 1 beat, okay? By the way, what does a quarter note look like? Okay? First of all, just to let you know, there are no quarter notes here in this example. There are none. But a quarter note looks like this, okay? Just so you know. And in the next lesson, we're going to be using those, okay? But the quarter note equals 1 beat, okay? So whenever we see these, okay, the quarter notes will equal 1 beat. But how does this affect the other notes that we actually have here, okay? Well, first note in the first measure, what we have is called a whole note, okay? Our whole note, W-H-O-L-E, our whole note equals 4 beats. It is in length of 4 beats, okay? So if we were to clap, let's say we were to clap this whole note right here, okay? If we were to clap this whole note, it would go 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Everybody do that with me real quick. Ready? And the whole note, go. 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, okay? Now, in doing this, you might be asking, why, oh, Mr. C, why do you have me clapping this whole note? Well, because we want to definitely have a good feeling and sound of how we hold a note for, okay? So notice how I clap it once. I clap it once on the first beat. I go 1, and then I hold over to 2, hold 3, hold 4, and then we cut off, okay? So that's basically how it's. So once we know how it feels when we're clapping it, we could definitely play it on the keyboard, okay, on the piano. So that whole note, again, is equal to 4 beats. Does it go by the rule of the meter that tells us there has to be 4 beats within the measure? Well, the whole note, this whole note here happens to be the only one in the measure, so we're only going to count and hold for 4 counts, okay, for those 4 beats. Now, it has the same thing. And by the way, now, this is a whole note with middle C. Notice how the particular note head, this particular note, is closest to the treble clef. It's in what they call a ledger line. So everybody say that, ledger line. It's in the ledger line below the treble clef staff, okay? But it's right very close to it. So what this is telling us here is that we're going to be playing this middle C because it's closer to the treble clef. We're going to be playing it in the right hand, okay? So be aware of that when we go to the piano in a little bit, okay? So we're going to be playing our middle C in the right hand because it's closest to the treble clef, and we're going to hold that C for what? 4 beats, for 4 beats. Now, notice this one. I wrote this as C. In fact, it's middle C as well. It happens to be middle C, okay? Again, our piano best friend in the whole world, our middle C. But now this one is closest to the bass clef. So when we play and hold this for 4 beats, right? We're going to be playing it, however, because it's in the bass clef, with the left hand. You're going to be playing that middle C with the left hand. Are there 2 different middle Cs? No. Middle C. This middle C and this middle C are actually the same note. They're the very same note. There is only one middle C, as I showed you guys in the previous lessons. There's only one middle C, okay? But basically, when it's written this way, where the middle C is closest to the treble clef, the composer, the songwriter, wants you to play it in the right hand, as opposed to this middle C. They simply want you to play that same note in the left hand. Why? Because it's closest to the bass clef, which are the lower range of notes, okay? So that's all that this is indicating. You're playing the same note, but in different hands. For the treble clef, you're playing this middle C in the treble clef. For the right hand, this C that's closest to bass clef, you're going to play it in the left hand, okay? Now, in the next measure, we have, look at this. We got these 2 notes over here. So I'm going to write it up at the top over here. This is what's known as a half note. This is a half note. And our half notes equal what? 2 beats. Now they equal 2 beats each, okay? So when we look at that, we have the 1/2 note here in middle C, okay? 1/2 note middle C, that's 2 beats long. Another half note, that's another 2 beats long. 1 hold 2, 3 hold 4. That means, are we still, well, the question is, are we still going by the meter, the rule of the meter? Absolutely, because they are 2 beats each, okay? 2 plus 2 equaling 4. Those are, again, known as the half notes, okay? So your half notes are 2 beats each, and they all together, both of these together equal 4 beats in total, which encompasses the amount of beats per measure as per our meter, okay? So when we clap, let's clap let's clap 2 half notes, okay? It should feel more like this. Watch me first. It's going to go 1, hold 2, and then 3, hold 4, okay? Clap and hold each half note with me. Everybody, let's do that together. Ready? I'm going to give you a tempo count. I'm going to go 1, 2, ready, clap. You're going to come in 1, hold 2, 3, hold 4. Let's do it. Ready? 1, 2, and ready, together, guys. And 1, hold 2, and 3, hold 4. Off, okay? So that's what 2 half notes feel like, and that's what we're going to transfer onto the piano when we come onto the piano. They are both middle C, closest to which clef, though? Closest to the treble clef. The ledger lies below the treble clef, closest to the treble clef. Therefore, we're going to play those 2 half notes in the right hand. Exactly, okay? But then when we get to the last measure, we have 2 more half notes, of course, at 2 beats each. Notice the differences, by the way. I'm going to show you something. With our treble clef half notes, notice that the stems, these are known as stems. Everybody say that, stems. This is the note head. These are the stems, the lines that are attached to the note heads, okay? When it comes to reading the notes and knowing where they're located, make sure we understand this, that it is the location of the note head that we're concerned about to figure out what the letter name is. We know this is middle C because the note heads have a line running, an imaginary ledger line running through the note heads below the treble clef staff and above the bass clef staff, which lets us know that those are middle Cs. But we know that they're half notes because the stems attached to these note heads. In the whole notes, we don't have any stems attached to them. So for whole notes, okay, we know that we're going to hold these for 4 beats each because there are no stems attached to them. But when they are empty circles in the note heads with stems attached to them, then that means that we are holding for 2 beats each. Now, if you look at the last measure where we see 2 half notes with the stems pointing down this time, okay, the stems are pointing down. This just simply lets us know that or I should say, the question you guys might be having is, why are these half notes have the stems pointing up, whereas these are pointing down? Why is that? Well, because when you're in the lower part of a particular staff, when you're in the lower side, so in this case, these 2 middle Cs are on the lower side of the treble clef staff, the writers of music will make sure that they point the stems. They will make sure that the stems are pointing up, okay? However, when they're above, like for instance, these 2 middle Cs in the bass clef, which we will play in the left hand, okay? They point the stems down because the middle C here happens to be higher up on the bass clef staff as a whole. They are higher up on the bass clef staff. So they point the stems down. And it's a very good way too, by the way, to let us know that, hey, we're going to be playing these half notes on the right hand in the higher range, whereas you know how the stems are pointing down over here for these half notes in the bass clef, we're playing them in the lower range in our left hand, okay? So that's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is the lower a note head is when it has a stem, when it's supposed to have a stem, the lower it is on the staff, they point the stems up. When it's high on the staff, they point the stems down. That's just the way they do it. So you can see the differences in height. They don't have to do that with whole notes because whole notes don't come with stems anyway. You see that? They never have stems. They're just empty circles. That's it. Okay? But again, whole notes, 4 beats each. Half notes, 2 beats each. Okay? And our quarter notes, as per our meter, the bottom number 4, again, is the symbol for the note that gets 1 beat. If you have a 4 at the bottom, it's talking about the quarter note equaling 1 beat, which we will work with next time, everybody, okay? But for now, we're only be dealing with whole notes and half notes, okay? all on middle C, and I'm going to show you how to play that right now. So let's get right to it, everybody. Let's go right to the piano keyboard. Make sure you're sitting up with good posture. Your back is straight, your feet are flat on the floor. If you happen to be on the short side, of course, and your feet can't touch the floor, that's okay, as long as you have posture. If you can reach the feet by moving up on the front edge of your stool, your chair, your okay. Make sure your chair has no arms. If you have to use a chair, make sure it doesn't have any arms. Make sure it's armless, okay? So that this way you're free to exhibit good posture and technique, okay? So I'm going to bring my keyboard over here. So I should say my camera. So I'm going to bring it a little bit lower so you guys can get a good bird's eye view of what we are playing, okay? All right. All right, so let's take a look. So everything that was on the board just now, we are definitely going to be playing. And so just as a reminder as to where is our best friend middle C, okay? Let's see if you guys can do this. Let's see how good you guys are at finding your own middle C without me writing it this time. We've had a couple of lessons now, okay, where I've showed you where middle C was, okay? So where is middle C? Where are we supposed to look? Well, first of all, we definitely want to look at the middle of the piano, right? But what group of keys should we be looking for? I'll give you a second, okay? All right, so if you said look for the 2 black keys in the middle of the piano, very good. Good job, everybody, okay? That's where you should be, okay? Now, we're looking here. That doesn't mean either one of these notes is middle C. Where is middle C? Middle C is in the white key just before the 2 black keys. So this is our middle C, okay? Now, here's the really interesting part. We have been learning that we need to play middle C. We need to play middle C in both the right hand and the left, okay? So how do we do that, okay? So basically, this is what you're going to do. You're going to, using good technique, make sure, again, you're sitting up nice and straight, your shoulders are relaxed, your elbows are slightly out, slightly, not too much, okay? And look the way I have my hands now, okay? Your fingers are curved, yet, I should say bent, yet firm. Your wrists are up and even. Your middle C is going to be shared by your 2 thumbs, okay? We're going to use our ones, okay? These are our number 1 fingers, right? We're going to be using our ones to play middle C from different times, okay? It starts off in the music, if you look, and definitely, again, your practice sheet will be available. So even though now you're not looking at the music that I wrote on the board, okay? Trust me when I say is I'm going to be playing what's on the board, but also you're going to be able to have that practice sheet with you, okay? You're going to be able to have that that music written there, okay? So you'll know exactly what you're looking at. But in the treble clef, in the first measure of that song, of the grand staff, it starts off with a whole note, which is worth 4 beats long, in the treble clef. So if we remember what we're supposed to, how do we play a treble clef note? We use our what? Our right hand, which means we're going to be using our right thumb, okay? Our right thumb. By the way, next to each note, next to each of those middle C notes, I'm going to write a number 1. I'm going to write them, just so you guys know. I didn't do that on the board, so that was my bad, but it's definitely going to be on the practice sheet where I will write a number 1 to let us know in the music that we are using our number 1s again, okay? So in the right hand, the first measure, middle C is in the right hand, okay? Not the left, not in the bass clef, but it's in the right hand, and we're going to be using our thumbs. Make sure, again, your other fingers are going to be in the next white notes, okay? 1 for each, 1, okay? Even though we're not playing any of the other notes, okay? We want to get into this good habit where all our other fingers, our other consecutive fingers, are on the consecutive notes, okay? While our 2 thumbs are sharing middle C, okay? So we start off with, again, treble clef, right hand, a whole note in middle C. That means we're going to play and hold for 4 counts. Watch me first, It goes like this. C, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, and off. You see what I did there, guys? Do you see what I did there? So in other words, I held that middle C with my thumb. I held it down and I counted for 4 counts. Don't be careful with this type of practice. Be careful with this habit, okay? When you play it, as soon as you play it, that is your beat 1 when you're counting the beats, okay? That's your beat 1. So you're going to come down 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Or you can say, as in middle, you can say the letter name and just go C, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, and off. Okay? That is how we play the whole note. Again, as soon as you play that note, that is beat 1, and then count and hold over to 2, 3, and 4. Okay? Why that way? Because it doesn't make sense to count after. A lot of students like to make this mistake. They like to go 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Okay, they'll stop at 4, but what's the problem with that? See, if the first beat really is on the very first time you play it, if that is 1, right? If that is 1, then what you're doing really is you're not holding for 4 total counts. You're holding for about 5. After you finally get to 4, you're holding for 5 counts. In reality, it's really 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. You've actually done 5 counts instead of 4. So that is the mistake that we want to avoid. As soon as you play it, as soon as you press it, 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, off. Okay? And that is your whole note. That's in the right hand. In the second measure, you have another whole note, middle C, but this time in bass clef, so it's going to be, so you're going to use your number 1 in your left hand now, and you're just going to go the same way with your thumb. Everybody watch this, and 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, and off. Okay? Make sure that the fingers, your thumbs, are actually doing the work. You're not moving your wrists when you're doing this. You're using your fingers. This is what part of using good technique is, okay? So let's play together the first 2 measures since they're both whole notes, right? So watch me first again. It's going to go 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Then the second measure, 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, and off. So you see, you're going from right first in the first measure, then the left hand in the second measure. Everybody, let's do it with me. Here's my tempo count. Ready? 1, 2, and ready. Let's play right hand first. And 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Left hand, 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, and off. Okay, so we just got through the 2 first measures of this little mini example. We've done that. Okay, let's do it again one more time together. First 2 measures, right hand first for 4 beats, left hand next for the next 4 beats. Okay, here we go on my count. 1, 2, ready. Let's play it. Right hand, right, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Now left hand, middle C, 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4, and off. Okay, great job. Now if by accident you play one of the other notes, getting into the heat of the moment, the moment of playing, okay, you're playing that middle C and you play the other notes by accident, don't worry about it. Just keep going, okay? And then when you practice this in repetition, remember, when you practice in repetition, you want to definitely, your goal is to make sure that you're singling in on the middle C to make sure you got that right rhythm-wise, okay? Now, the next measure is going to be in the right hand this time, treble clef notes again, but this time the half notes, 2 half notes. How many beats is a half note each? 2 beats long, right? So you're basically in the next measure, you're playing, as you will see on the practice chart, on the practice sheet, you will be playing that in your right hand twice for 2 beats each. So watch me first. Look at my right hand first. It's going to go 1, hold 2, then 3, hold 4, and then off. Okay? So notice how I play 2 half notes at 2 beats each. 1, hold 2, 3, hold 4, off. Okay? And then you're going to do the same thing in the last measure in the left hand. Then it's going to be the same thing. You're sharing, right? You're sharing it with the two thumbs, but you're going to play in the last measure. You got two more half notes, but this time in bass clef at 2 beats each with middle C. Me first. So you're going to go 1, hold 2, 3, hold 4. Off. By the way, don't point. You know how I'm pointing right now? I'm pointing right now each. I'm just trying to draw your attention to what I'm doing there. Okay? But please don't actually point at your thumbs when you're doing it. You want to make sure you still have this good hand technique here. You have good technique while you're playing. So me first again. I'm going to show you now with good technique without me pointing. Okay, it starts in the right hand in the third measure of that little example. Okay, third measure, 2 half notes in the right, then the last measure, 2 half notes in the left. Okay, 2 beats each. Me first. Here I go. 1, hold 2, 3, hold 4. Now left hand 1, hold 2, 3, hold 4, and off. And that's it. Okay, and those are the last 2 measures in the right and in the left, half notes, 2 beats each. Okay, let's do this together, everybody. Here we go, together with me. Get ready. On my tempo count. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, half notes, right hand, go. Right, hold 2, right, hold 2. Now left hand, left, hold 2, and left, hold 2, and off. Okay, let's do that again, guys. Here we go. On my count, same third and fourth measure. Okay, ready? Middle C only in the thumbs, starting with the right thumb. 1, 2, ready? Let's play it. And 1, hold 2, 3, hold 4. Now left hand. 1, hold 2, 3, hold 4, and off. Okay? So that is our last 2 measures. Now, guess what? We're not really done here because we got to do the whole thing. Now we got to do all 4 measures. All 4 measures. That's right, guys. Okay, so we're going to start with our whole notes. It starts with whole notes, 2 measures of whole notes, and then the last 2 measures with 4 half notes altogether, right? So watch how this goes. Me first, okay? So I'm going to count myself in, and the same way I would count you guys in, and I'll go 1, 2, ready, here I go. Whole note 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Left hand second measure 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Now half notes 1, hold 2 on the right, 3, hold 4. Now left 1, hold 2, left again 1, hold 2, and off. That is the entire example. Okay, so we go from whole notes to half notes. Okay, let's do that one more time. I'll show you one more time first with me, then let's do it together, everybody. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, let's go. And 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Now on the left, left, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Now right, half notes. 1, hold 2, 3, hold 4. Now left, half notes. 1, hold 2, 3, hold 4, and off. Okay, we're sharing with our middle C, our both thumbs. The other fingers are still they're not floating, by the way. If you're finding yourself doing this, don't. Okay, keep all your fingers still just resting on the other keys, but without having to play them. Okay, this is going to take a lot of control on your part, making sure you're controlling your fingers the way you want them to be controlled. Okay, so firm curved finger, firm bent fingers, wrists up and even, using only the thumbs for this song because we only need the thumbs for our middle C, okay? And all playing all on middle C from right to left, okay? That's how the example, that's what we have written on the example. Let's do it together, everybody. Here we go. On my count, get ready. Fingers firm and bent, wrists up, both thumbs on middle C. Other notes we're not playing. Here we go on my count, starting with the right. 1, 2, ready, and whole note. Go. 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Now left whole note. 1, hold 2, hold 3, hold 4. Now half notes. Right. 1, hold 2, 3, hold 4. Now left half notes. 1, hold 2, 3, hold 4, and off. Okay, one more time, everybody. Last time, and then that is it. Okay, here we go. On my count. 1, 2, Ready, right hand hold notes, go. 1, hold, 2, hold, 3, hold, 4. Left hand, 1, hold, 2, hold, 3, hold, 4. Now right hand half notes, 1, hold, 2, 3, hold, 4. Left hand half notes, 1, hold, 2, 3, hold, 4, and off. And that's it. Shake them out, guys. Shake them out. Okay. Maybe roll those shoulders. If you're feeling any tension in the shoulders, by the way, okay, make sure you kind of recheck your posture. Recheck the posture. You know, I kind of have to fault on my posture a little bit just because I got the camera in front of me. I got the camera in front of me so you can have that bird's eye view of everything here. So I'm kind of limited. I have to, and even then though, sometimes I could still, just fix my posture a little bit. So, but the great thing is you guys don't have a camera in front of, you don't have a camera in front of you. Okay. So you guys make sure that your posture is good. If you're feeling any strain on the shoulders or the back, straighten out that posture, relax the shoulders, okay? If you have any strain on your hands, okay, then yeah, massage them right now, massage them, but make sure always are checking that your wrists are up, especially if you have any tension on the wrists, if you're feeling anything like that, okay, be very careful. We want to make sure that our wrists are always up and even when we're playing, never hanging down low and then trying to move our fingers. That's creating more intense pain for you and there'll be a bad long-term effect on you, okay? Because then you'll start to develop what they call carpal tunnel, okay? Which means just pain, like almost like arthritic pain in the joints of your wrist. So you don't want that. That's why maintaining our technique is so important. Keeping the wrist up always and stable, okay? Using the fingers to do the work, not the wrists, okay? All right, everybody, that's it. Give yourselves a round of applause. Great job, okay? I'm gonna come talk to you now. All right. This time a little more face to face. Okay, but great job, everybody. Great job. Once again, a nice little round of applause for yourselves. Good job. Okay, this practice sheet will be available to you. Okay, you're going to use that as a visual as well as while you're practicing. Remember our regimen. It is 10 times a day, no more, no less. 10 times a day. That's all I want. That's all you should be doing. Okay, and you're going to go from the the left side to the right side, starting with the whole note in the treble clef, whole note in the bass clef, half notes in the right hand, and then half notes in the left hand. Okay, and that is the end. But do this 10 times every day, consecutively, every day, just 10 times a day. That's it. I'm just going to check my chat box. If there's any questions, please, by all means, type in. If there are any questions now, okay, I don't see any questions. That's okay. No worries, okay? But yeah, you can always even type those questions later on afterwards, guys. You can always do that, and I will be more than happy again to answer questions, okay? So hopefully you guys got this. Again, all this, even the top information as far as how much the notes are worth, okay, what the clef signs mean, okay, the meter means, all of that is going to be on that practice sheet. So use it in good health, use it well, use it very well, okay, and practice it every day, 10 times a day. Great job, everybody. As always, my friends, I wish you happy practicing. Everybody take care of yourselves and have yourself a great rest of the day. Goodbye, guys.